Good Saturday morning, everyone! I hope you guys are going to have the best day ever. Let's get started, shall we? For today, I have decided to make a cutting board. I got my hands on a piece of ashwood and walnut and then proceeded to mill it to size. This wood was quite old when I got my hands on it, so it was filled with cracks and lots of insects. Once milled, I decided to run it through planer to smooth out all the sides of the lumber. However, I only managed to plane top and bottom of the wood I milled, since the sides were too thin and tall and I didn't feel comfortable to run them through the planer. So then I came up with the idea to plane the sides of it using my table saw. This way the whole thing would be perfectly planed, and it worked. Now that all my wood was proper and smooth, I proceeded to glue the pieces together. As soon as I did so, I already started to like what the board will look like. Once glue dried up for 2 days, I ran the whole thing through planer again to make sure everything is as smooth as can be and to get rid of the glue residue from the top of the board. I did purchase a tool to scrape glue residue off, but using a planer seems so much easier. Hopefully that doesn't damage the planer too much. If you guys know anything about it, please do let me know. Then I cut the edges off of the board and proceeded to cut it up into small chunks so that I can face the grain upwards. It seemed like it will get a nice checkerboard pattern. Once the pieces were nice and ready, I proceeded to glue them up together, and that's when the final design started to show itself. Way better than I imagined it would be. Following that, I again cut the edges off of the board to make sure that they were straight, and then proceeded to run it through the planer again. This time I ran it with the smooth option on, so the board would be as perfect as possible. Then I proceeded to sand every single side to 360 grit. I started with 80 grit, then went up to 120, then up to 160, and kept on increasing my grit by 40 until I hit 360. Once the board was looking nice and smooth, I decided to spray some water on it and then sand it again, starting from 360 grit all the way to 420 grit. I'm not sure if it is necessary or not, but I read online that spraying water rises the grain strands up so you can sand them to get a smoother finish. And now this is where my new juice groove jig came in handy. I plopped it right in, adjusted the jig, and ended up getting one of the best juice grooves I have ever made. Very happy with the results I got. Following that, I also added grooves for the handholds on the side in order to be able to lift the board, and then proceeded to run the sides with the router in order to get the perfect round edges. And now the board was completed. All that was left to do was oil it well. Let it really absorb everything, and that's it. This is probably the best cutting board I made to date, and I have absolutely loved every single aspect of it. There is not a single part of this cutting board that I was not satisfied with, and it was pure joy to make. If you guys like this video, please consider giving me a like and maybe subscribing. And if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to let me know and I'll respond right away. I release videos every Saturday. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you will have a wonderful rest of the weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye bye!